Hello and thanks for stopping by to another Ready or Not gameplay walkthrough commentary video. So this is the 5th video now that I'm doing since the Atom update, and in good fashion I want to start off with a little bit of an announcement. So Ready or Not has actually been around since 2019. The game originally launched in a closed alpha state in 2019, and on December 15th, 2021 is when it hit the public with the supporter and standard edition on Steam in an open alpha format. Now, what I do find pretty funny in a bad joke sort of way is that since this game has dropped on Steam, it has stayed in the top 100 for the entire year. Now, given that this game has roughly 68,000 reviews, I think it's fair to say that this game has probably sold 680,000 copies. I think that's fair to say. Minimally, the game has sold 680,000 copies, because we're not taking into account that they also sell this game on Void Interactive's homepage. Now, given the price of this game is more than any AAA title I have ever seen, to be a supporter of this game is roughly 190-ish Australian dollars, or at least at the time when I purchased it, it was, and I still think it sits at roughly 150 US to be a supporter of this game. Now, if I'm wrong about that sum and it's proven that it's roughly 130 or maybe even $125, whatever. Point is, that's still more than any game that's launching in the AAA setting at the moment. We can just have a look at the prices of games right now, guys. Let's be real. So, where the issue with that lies is, this game is essentially the only game of its kind that I've ever seen that charges that sort of price for an early access with no release date in sight and in mind. And I'm talking no release date for the beta. I'm not talking we got no release date for the main game. We don't even have a release date for the beta. Now, if you happen to prove me wrong and there is some sort of speculation on the release date, well, it's just that. It's speculation, because Void Interactive's own website doesn't specify, and therefore it does actually specify there is no release date. They specifically state, we don't have a release date for the beta yet. So, if you watch my other videos, you also see that I'm commenting that this game has had two quote-unquote big updates that have come out in the year of 2022, and those updates are pretty overinflated for what they actually offer us. So, the main emphasis was on this completely overhauled civilian and suspect AI system, which I am yet to see, and it cannot be accounted for in any of the videos I've done since the Atom update. The single player experience is essentially still broken. It is still in its alpha state, and I feel personally that the game has progressed pretty insignificantly for the amount of money these devs have taken in the last 12 months. So, it's important to consider that this isn't some poor man's company. These people have essentially made, for the price they're selling this game at, considering they've probably sold 680,000 copies of it, they've netted over $100 million. Now, on LinkedIn, they advertise themselves as a company between 25 and 50. 50 is their upper limit amount of employees. So we'll take that number, we'll go with that number, and we'll say they got 50 employees. This game in its alpha stage has made them, because this is the only thing they're working on, mind you that. If they're working on something else, they're not sharing it with us. They say that Ready or Not is their primary focus, it is their only focus. So this game has made them $100 million at least. I know Steam would take a cut, but I also say 680,000 copies as a bare minimum figure. I'm sure they've sold way more than 680,000 copies of this game if we take Steam and we take Void Interactive's website where they also sell the game. So between 50 people, they're all millionaires. They've all made well over $1 million. And what have we seen as a supporter in the last 12 months? Well, we've essentially seen a bunch of mods come out which are the lifeblood of this game. It's so much so the lifeblood of this game that we even see it here in the main menu. So, not only have they categorized game testers as your standard game tester and your supporter game tester, the game tester that gets to test the game earlier than the other testers. I mean, that's what the supporter essentially is. You are testing alpha updates earlier than the people who aren't supporters. So if you don't see something wrong with that right there, you have to acknowledge that they've added these mods to the main menu, and some of these mods, not particularly the ones that you're looking at here, but mods in general, you can find some mods that completely transform this game and make the experience better overall. Now, one of the key things I've said in the past is that mods should enhance and enrich your game. They shouldn't be the core fundamental driving factors that make the game better. The game at its base vanilla stage should always, not just sometimes, should always be better than what you can get from the mod. The mod should just be something cosmetic to increase your quality of life, and not even just like some sort of a visual change. I wouldn't even want to call it an upgrade, just something a little different. But when you've got entire mods that tweak gameplay mechanics and in some cases, depending on the mod, make the gameplay better, it really does beg the question of what are these devs doing? What has this open alpha achieved in the last 12 months? I am not denying the game hasn't made progress. It has. But I believe we, the consumers, especially the supporters, who have paid more than a premium to be supporters, we deserve some answers as to when the game is gonna drop. We deserve updates that are more frequent than every 5 to 6 months, because at this stage, this game needs at least another quote-unquote big 3 more big updates. That's what this needs. At least 3 more for this game to begin to consider or potentially be in that area where it can become a beta. 3 more big updates at a minimum, taking history into account. We're not going to see a beta for this game until 2024, which means we're probably not going to see a full release of this game until 2025. Now, at the rate it's performing and at the rate it's selling, my concern is if this game starts to drop out of the top 100 and it stays out of the top 100 for a significant amount of time, if the devs aren't motivated now, this game having been in the top 100 all year, I believe they're going to lose motivation entirely when the game can't sustain its top 100 rank any longer. This right here, the M14, this isn't even a developer given weapon. This is something that was unlocked with the Unlock Everything mod. So one of the new weapons they also said that was added with this recent update was the MP7. I don't see it. I don't know where it is. This definitely ain't it, but going by the name, it's the closest thing that resembles an MP7, but I know that's not it. It looks nothing like it. We're just going to roll with the M14. I believe that's the primary suspect weapon for most of the suspects on Carriers of the Vine. It'd be interesting to test out a suspect weapon, see how it performs. Glock 18, also I believe a weapon you can only access with the Unlock Everything mod. Be interesting to mag dump with that. So don't get me wrong, Ready or Not has been a good experience in the sense of getting my money's worth. There's very few games I put 50 plus hours into, and every time I put 50 plus hours into a game, I consider it a worthy investment. So time is probably the best way. Lustful Remorse, that's a modded map, and I think that's what we're going to do. We've covered the Postal Service, we've covered Coastal Grove Medical Center, and we've covered the Spider at Talentine. There's some maps here we haven't covered. Most recently we did 4U Gas Station, where before I talk about what I was going to say with that earlier point, I have to point out that game modes are fucking identical. In my experience, they've been identical. Now, I haven't done active shooter and bomb threat, but hostage rescue plays like a raid plays like a barricaded suspects. They have very minor differences, and this shit right here about suspects have taken a room of civilians hostage, it's up to you to locate them quietly, establish a strategy, and execute quickly. Okay, well, that's not how it plays. Especially since this update, there was no human shields. There was no implementation of mathematically overhauled suspects that started to use their wits. And if you watched my 4U Gas Station hostage rescue, we even found the suspects to be completely irrational and not even in the same room where the hostages, alleged hostages, were just loitering. So, needless to say, it's enough about that. I'm sure you have your own experiences when it comes to barricaded suspects, raids, and hostage rescue. And if you've had good experiences, man, good for you. Good for you. I hope you've got your money's worth too. Now, primary currency or valuation of a game is time. So I've spent over 50 hours. I'd say that's time well spent. I've enjoyed this game. I've had my problems with it, and I've criticized it for that. I think it's very important that people don't just fucking piss the bed and say that this is the best time of their life, and if they have something to say, they should voice it. Okay, I find that there's a lot of disingenuous people on YouTube. I'm not saying about Ready or Not, I'm saying in general, that will overhype and oversell something that they don't truly believe, and they won't sit down and actually properly assess their thoughts in their head and then portray them like I am with some conviction and actually criticize something that kind of goes against the grain of everyone who, like I just used the metaphor, pisses the bed over something being better than it actually is. Yeah? So I'm not here to tug on your balls and tell you that Ready or Not is better than it actually is. I'm here to hold the developers to account, see what can actually be done with this game, and does this game actually have a future, or are they just going to let it sort of burn out and die once it starts falling out of that Steam Top 100? They're going to cash their checks, and they're going to essentially rely on the modding community, which I believe they strongly have been relying on the modding community for this entire year to be the lifeblood of this game, while they hand out these fucking measly $5,000 cash prizes for someone who designs the best map. Are you fucking serious? You make hundreds of millions of dollars on this game, and you're going to pay someone a $5,000 cash prize to be number one? That fucking prize should be closer to 100 fucking grand, Scrooge McDuck. Tell me when I'm telling lies. I mean, maybe you know something I don't. Maybe they make way less money. But according to some basic math, I reckon they've made over 100 million on this game. Interesting how I've said that we need to have an intel briefing, and a modded map actually provides us the closest thing we've seen yet to a briefing before the start of an objective. A modded map.
Talk reporting.
Copy. Coming to you.
Suspects have a foothold in this area, and they're refusing to cooperate. Entry team, you are cleared to proceed with the mission.
Even that neat little touch in the bottom right hand corner. Holding over 100 frames. So the game is already performing a little better.
Cam light out.
Damn, I just fucking know it.
I can't actually get him to stack up. I ain't gonna fault the devs on that one. This is a modded map. Realistically, I just wanted to do that.
We've got a dead suspect here.
Talk reporting. Copy that, entry team. Proceed with mission.
So, if you've got something you disagree with, if you've got something to add to what I've already said, please do. That's what the comment sections are for. I'm happy to have a discussion about this game. But I feel like I've made some pretty valid points that I haven't heard said from any other YouTuber that covers this game and that makes videos about it.
Provide support on me.
Affirmative. Moving into your position.
Someone?
Get down, kids! Get down! I want to see it.
Talk to high ground. Mission failed. We no longer have control
Well,
of
that
the
flash
situation.
didn't do anything.
Fall back.
Everyone stick.
Alright, well, I don't really care if I don't pass this mission. This was more about... I'm not going to call it a rant. I wasn't ranting. I was making valid points. My spiel. This video, this recording was more about the spiel I made at the start.
Talk reporting. Suspects
Loading
have a
into this-
foothold in this area, and they're refusing to cooperate. Entry team, you are cleared to proceed with the mission.
I hate this fucking intro radio. I really, really do. It messes with my flow. He was a quick fucker, huh? Wow, he has just bailed. He is overhauled, huh? He's just bailed on us. I've never seen a suspect just bail like that. He fucking double timed it, alright. Okay, well, I'm happy with that. That's good to see. See, this video isn't merely to just criticize how shit Ready or Not is. Ready or Not isn't a bad experience. If it was a bad experience, I wouldn't have 50 plus hours in this game. But it's important that things such as this game having been around for 12 months and being in the top 100 is important to point out, because while this game continues to make lots of money, the updates to improve it are coming out far too slow, far too inconsistently, and some of the better updates and overhauls and improvements for this game are found in a modding community where someone's doing it for fucking pennies on the dollar or nothing at all.
Suspect killed.
Talk reporting. Roger that, entry team. Tag him.
That's just fucked up, man. You can't, until shit like this right here is fixed, you can't even hope for the game to be in beta. Look at that. Like, We're still so far away from a beta even.
On me.
Roger, I'm coming to you.
Police, put your hands up!
Drop your weapons. Drop your weapon.
Restrain targets.
They're chasing someone, man. They're double timing. Oh no, they're just following orders and coming here, I think.
Hands up!
Yeah, they are.
Get down and put your hands up.
I thought they were
Contact
fucking
restrained.
hauling ass after someone.
Hands up!
Oh,
Drop
come
your
on.
knees.
Get down, sweetheart.
Doing my job. Let me see those hands.
Restrain targets.
Talk to entry team. Copy. Move on.
Seriously, guys. I think I'm stuck. I can't move left or right. I'm actually stuck. Like, right now, I can't fucking move.
Move over there.
Getting there now.
He
sir.
has to move. And if he's not going to move, I'm fucked. I don't think he's going to move. Wow. So that's going to be the end of this video because we can't fucking move. I think we couldn't ask for a more fitting end to how far away this game is from a fucking beta launch. A game that's made well over $100 million for Void Interactive. I'm not pulling that sum out of my ass. I think that's a very reasonable estimate. Probably more. Yep, I can't move. I mean, I can try, but I'm actually completely fucking stuck.
Watch it!
One of our own is DOA. He's not breathing.
Talk reporting. Roger that. Watch it!
No more.
Yeah, well. We out of fucking ammo? Just out of that mag.
These actions reflect on our entire force. Mission failed. We no longer have control of the situation. Fall back.
Whatever, man. Sums it up in its entirety right there, doesn't it? It is a modded map, but is that really an exception to getting fucking stuck, to getting game-breakingly stuck with your friendly AI? And that wasn't even entirely in a doorway. Ready or not? We're ready, but I don't think they are. I think Void Interactive is going to stall the fuck out of this game. They're going to drop their next big update probably in May, maybe April at best. And whilst I do expect to see significant improvements for this game, it'll be one of those scenarios where they give you just enough to keep the cucks and the soys happy that have paid money for this game, and it'll make the people that are gonna defend this game defend it. They'll say that it's fucking great and be patient and whatever other buzzword they'll find in their vocabulary to support this game. They'll be fanboys till they fucking die, for Ready or Not, which is fine to enjoy it, but I've got a different angle on it. And my angle on it is that the modding community is the lifeblood. They are the ones that keep this game afloat. I think the fucking developers hide behind the modding community. They are far too slow at putting updates out. They are making great money. They're not underfunded. And at this current pace, for a game that's been in the top 100 all year, we're not even going to begin to see a beta for it until 2024. If you think all that's acceptable, and the fact that you paid over $150 to be a supporter, and you're essentially testing the game, having paid top dollar to test the game. And if you don't see that what continues to make the game better for you is a bunch of mods that have nothing to do with the developers, kudos to you. Continue to be that dick rider if you so choose. I've got my opinions. I think they're valid. If you've got something else to say, you want to contest or argue about something, feel free to leave a comment. That'll be it for me as far as making Ready or Not videos for the rest of the year, I think. Maybe I'll be back with another video to give my thoughts and feedback in the future. Maybe I'll decide to just play another map and keep it pretty light and try and keep it tactical. So that's it for me. Catch you guys in another Ready or Not video in the future. Hope you have a good Christmas. God bless. See you next time.
Terrorists in fucking Los Sueños now?